Welcome back to the leftovers. As a giant child.
Well, it wasn't in high school, it was middle school.
So sorry,
So,
you're a big guy then, right? You're like over 6 foot?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 6'4".
Ugh. Over 6.
So,
Yeah,
in middle school,
I love it. Pick me up.
middle schools usually don't have official teams. And so my middle school didn't. But since I was young and I was so tall, my family's always been like, do football, do football. And so in middle school, I got the chance. And I've always been fat. I've always been fat. I was like 250 pounds middle school. And so, and I was already reaching 6 foot. And so I joined the middle school team. And, like a middle school, associated team. And immediately, they tried to put me with my age group, and then they realized I was too big. And so they put me in an age group above mine. So I was going up. I was like 10, so I was going up against kids who were like 11 to 13, I think, is what their ages were. And I was still like a few inches to a foot taller than everybody, and weighed about 50 pounds heavier.
Good lord.
And so it was it was immediately agreed that I was the big man on the team. And so they did two things because of this. One, I was given the number 99 just to represent the sheer size.
Yeah, that makes
And then they
sense.
gave me, I think the team was like the Bullfrogs or something, and our colors were like purple and gray. And so once we found a helmet that was big enough for me, because the regular size helmets didn't fit, so I wore an official size helmet, like adult size.
Ooh.
And the only helmet that we could find was purple, but it was with purple with like sparkles on it.
Oh, brilliant.
And I brought this to the coach, and he's like, I love it. And so I would go on the field 99 with a purple sparkly helmet, and they made me center, because of course.
Yeah. Nothing's getting past you.
And I just remember playing football, because one of the things I really remember is that, like, the first few, I forget what they're called, because I haven't played football in like years. But like the first few sets, oh God, I don't remember what they're called. But whatever, they would put one guy across from me to block me, and then they realized after about 2 go-arounds that one guy was nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
And so they started putting 2 guys on me, and if they put 2 small guys on me, it was still not enough. So usually what happened is that they would immediately move 2 medium-sized dudes against the cross from me. And I say dudes, but we're kids, but yeah. But they immediately put 2 medium-sized guys across from me. And I just remember, because, my family, they understood football way more than I did. I was just playing football because they told me that I should play football. It's like, okay, whatever. But, my uncle would always brag about how they had to put 2 people across from me.
Oh yeah.
And
That's what they ended up doing when I was playing high school, but they just made me nose guard instead. So, so I would just be right across from somebody like you, but they always had these little short fat kids
Oh, yeah.
that were playing as center. Yeah, and I would just bowl over the fucking center and just smack right into
Oh,
the
yeah. One of
quarterback,
the things
and
I
after a
remember
while,
doing
they had
would be
to switch it up.
the height difference was enough to where if I stood fully up before the other person, I could just push them down onto the ground.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
my shoulders were like a foot above there, so I could just get my hands up there and push them straight down.
Right. Or just get that inertia and smash right into them.
And so they would immediately have to get up if they didn't want me to just push them down.
Get out of here, Plaguey.
The other thing I remember about football specifically, though, is that my mom's always been super protective and worried about me sometimes.
Interesting.
Because,
Right.
I was born premature, so it
Really?
didn't start off good. Yeah, I was born premature
Started
because
early.
I was too big. I was too big. If they didn't do me premature, I wouldn't have been able to come out easily. So that
Right.
happened, and then I had asthma, and so that made it worse. And other baby problems was, I forget what the term is for it, the medical term, but basically I had a hole in my abdomen that opened up.
Ooh.
And so I had to get surgery for that because yeah, I had to get surgery for that because my intestines were falling out, which was great.
Oh, so like a hernia.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah, it was a hernia. That's what
hernia?
it was. That's a hernia.
Baby hernia.
Oh, I had that.
That's
Terrifying.
crazy.
So
Poor mother.
basically,
Yeah, right?
yeah, my mom was immediately super afraid. And like she had been trying for years too, so she was super protective. But like once all that was done, I was fine for a while. And like going into football, it's like I wasn't an active kid. I was fat, one, but like also just I just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like if you were playing basketball outside, I would play basketball with them, but usually I didn't care. So going to middle school playing football, I was just doing it just because. And so we get the best pads because my mom's super afraid. And then she also was like, you have to be hydrated, you have to be hydrated. So the first few practices, she immediately waterlogged me.
Right.
So I'd go through
drink water.
I would go through the entire practice feeling I was going to puke.
Oh.
Luckily that never happened. And
I've puked more than one practice, man.
and then football is a super, like you have to run a lot in football.
Makes sense.
And that killed me. Because like I'm heavy and I have asthma. And so I'm just like
and pads.
I'm just breathing heavy, and like at the first few practices, like once a practice I'd have an asthma attack, and it was like horrific. I don't know why she as great as she was, why she was having me play football knowing that I was having asthma attacks every single practice.
She made sure you're hydrated, but doesn't bring your inhaler.
Oh no, she brought my inhaler. We had 2 inhalers. She knew.
Okay.
But she was still like, this guy's got to play sports. I don't care about the asthma.
Right.
It was
The rest of the family
it
does
was
it,
my
you gotta
entire
do it.
family really. Like my family's big UT fans, so like it's always been football.
That's true. If you have a giant on the field, it's the best day ever.
Right.
And I remember, I liked it at first, and like I played in a few games, but I remember just absolutely the moment I got home, I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, I've had those a couple of times, but it's like eventually after the season's over, it's like, all right, cool, I did it. I'm not doing
Oh
it.
yeah,
That was fun.
The season ended. The season ended, and I
Right,
was done.
thanks.
We sold my pads. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, it's like I'll play Madden from now on. That's cool.
You guys are great.
And I thought like that, but then come a few 2 years later, high school. Hey, mom, I want to box.
Yeah.
I can
And
see
so
that
I
being
boxed in
fun.
high school,
Yeah.
and like boxing in high school is what made me. I've been over 200 pounds my whole life, so like I've always been fat. But like boxing in high school made me drop to the lowest I've ever been. I dropped to like 212 in high school.
Oh yeah.
And so it was the one point in my life that I was basically at a healthy weight, and I'm hoping to get back there soon.
Well, that's awesome.
And I remember I love boxing. Like I still want to go back sometime. I stopped boxing just because I did 2 things. The first straw was I dislocated my knee and couldn't walk for like 2 months.
Oof. How'd you do that in boxing?
Twist.
Twist and like the way you have to put your feet, but like like even at 212 I'm still heavy. So like what happened is I was shadow boxing, so I was practicing like my moves, and I stepped to move to the left, and I stepped and then put my weight on my knee and just it popped out.
Oh yep.
And I immediately fell to the ground. I sat there in shock for a few seconds, and I was like, what just happened? And then I tried to stand up, and my thigh moves, but knee below doesn't move. And so I immediately sit back down, and then my knee pops back into place. I feel it.
Oof. Yeah.
And then I try to get up again, and then there's just a sharp pain in my knee.
Oof.
And so
like it's all swollen up and
so
shit.
basically I sat there for like a minute not knowing what to do, and I said, and I looked behind him and said, hey coach, we got a problem. And so he walked over to me, and we tried, and he did like the test. He tried to move my knee, and like I was like, nope, pain, please stop. And so we ended up having to call 911.
Oh.
And what ended up happening is that they sent an ambulance and a fire truck, and I think one patrol vehicle too. And
Oh shit.
they checked my knee and were like, "Yep, you're not moving that." And they were going to put me in an ambulance, but like my grandma arrived at the time, and she's like, "We can't afford an ambulance."
I knew that feel.
And so what ended up happening is
Yeah.
that the firemen understood. So what they did is they helped me get into my grandma's car. One of them held my leg up, whilst two of them basically helped me stand and put me in my grandma's car, and we went to the emergency room
Good call.
where they gave me a brace, and then I had to go to a doctor, and he told me two things. One, I was super lucky, and two, I wasn't lucky. Because I didn't rip nothing, but I bruised my patellum in my knee.
Ooh.
And so that basically meant no walking, keep this leg straight, don't bend it, don't put weight on it.
Right. They gave you one of those soft casts.
Yeah, they gave me a
to
big
put
old
on?
soft cast and gave me crutches.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, and like I remember that pain specifically because it was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. The way I described it was like if someone took a knife and put it underneath my kneecap is what it felt like.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't walk for like 2 months. But I was also too heavy to use. I was too heavy and no one taught me how to use the crutches. So I was getting horrific bruises on underneath my armpits. And so like after like 3
Yeah.
weeks, I gave up on the crutches and just started walking peg-legged. Because I figured out how to walk without bending my knee at all and like avoiding the pain.
It's a good talent.
Remember I did that, and I got into class, and the teacher liked to like wheel around her podium as while she was teaching class for whatever reason. Like, and one day she just got real into her speech and like gripped her podium and slid it across the front of the classroom, and I was sitting in the front because I had the soft cast on
Oh,
too,
no.
and it just slams right into my leg. Just like, oh my
What a
god. Yeah, it was the worst.
Oh yeah. Being tall with a soft cast sucks because your legs will just stick out from underneath the desk.
Yeah,
I felt super
it's
bad
anything.
because like I would be in a desk behind someone and my leg is underneath their chair. I'm sorry, dude. I can't help it, man.
All of it. Airplanes, man, buses, fucking trains, like
Oh yeah, it sucks.
anywhere normal people can sit, you try to sit down and you're gonna take up like 2 spots easy.
And like my middle school and high school had those, like they had the desk chair combos, so the chairs were bolted to the desk.
Yeah.
And so basically, it was super awkward to even get into those damn things. And so I remember they would basically one of the things is that they would bring a chair for me, a separate chair, so I could sit down. Because
Oh, that's a fireball.
normally
I'm-
even if I sat down in a without my
the
knee messed
knockout.
up, I would basically have to barely
Right.
fit into the desk. So it was like with knee messed up, not happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I had that, and then I started walking peg-legged because I couldn't deal with the crutches. And I'm realizing now that I probably should have gone to therapy for my knee, which I didn't do. So
Physical therapy.
yeah, I never got like therapy to like learn how to use the muscles again, or like get them stronger again. Which is what the knee doctor said, like you're going to need to strengthen the muscles in your knee, in your leg to make up for your knee
Makes sense.
for a while
Yeah.
until your knee fully heals.
Yeah, that
And I
can
never went to therapy.
be a problem forever
So-
if you don't address it.
Well, luckily I'm just a physical person, I guess, by default, despite being fat. So I just did physical things anyway. And so I eventually naturally strengthened my knee, but like I didn't get the therapy, so I didn't relearn how to walk. So
Is that on the ground on the level up?
I think so. It looks like it.
Yeah,
I don't think I can.
it's like street side.
Okay. Because I'd stand here for like 5 more minutes trying to jump and get the fuck up there. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I didn't learn how to. You never realize it, but like if you're in a cast for like 2 months, you forget how to walk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I forgot how to walk and run with my right leg. And so I just after I got the cast off, for a few weeks, I physically couldn't run. I just couldn't. I didn't know how to do it anymore. And so I was stuck to walking very like forcibly. Like when you walk, it's kind of like automatic. But I had to like concentrate
muscle memory.
on the muscles to move my leg the correct way, or I would just fall over.
Yeah, it's like a whole learning thing all over again.
And so I had to figure out how to walk again.
Ow.
And then I never really ran that much ever, but sometimes I would have to like jog or run for whatever reason. So I had to learn how to do that, and for a few months, every time I had to jog or run, it looked super awkward because I just didn't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But like,
it's crazy what your body can go through, and then how it can heal itself. It's like I've been there where you just dislocate something, pop it back in again. It's like, holy fuck, that was crazy. Like, yeah. It's like, my body just did that. Oh god. It's so nuts, man.
But like somehow that wasn't the end of me boxing, because I went back after I went back before I knew how to run and walk again. After that cast came off, I was immediately back into boxing.
Damn.
And then 2 more things happened that ended that. One was I was still having trouble learning how to walk and run stuff. So I fell down the stairs at my high school. And got a concussion. And so I fell down 2 flights of stairs.
Was this during the bad leg time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was because of the bad leg time.
That makes sense.
And so I fell down 2 flights of stairs and landed on my neck and got a concussion.
Oh my god.
And so that
now I feel sorry for laughing.
so that put me out.
It was probably funny.
And then, oh my god.
Wow, Brian. Jesus.
How am I the bad guy? I didn't break his leg.
I don't know. I just gotta push off my guilty feelings onto you now. It's like, oh look, it was his fault
fine,
all
man.
along.
Life is full of a series of eating shit, and we all do it. Like nobody
That's
gets
true.
through life without eating
Yeah.
serious shit.
Copious amounts of fecal.
Oh my god. Let me continue.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then like a month later, I got horrendously sick. And so I was sick for like 2 months over summer break. And so coming into senior year, I was like, well, I need to prepare for college. And I also haven't really been boxing truly for like a few months now. So it's like, I might as well just stop and focus on college. And that's what I did.
Yeah, you can.
And then freshman year of college,
get into it for fun.
I immediately got back into physical sport.
Yeah.
I started rugby
Ugh.
freshman year of college.
Oh wow.
And funny thing is, I hated football. Like, it was fun in the games, but afterwards, like, I'm tired, I hurt, I'm having trouble breathing, I hate it. I loved rugby.
Well, that's
And
good.
so, I played rugby. I have a history of getting injured, so I got injured with rugby, of course.
It's only gonna go up.
Either I sprained my thumb, dislocated it, or something. All I know is that my thumb was super purple, and I couldn't move it. And same thing with the pointer finger on the opposite hand. Because me and another guy ran full force into each other.
Did you just ignore it?
Oh yeah, I ignored it. I completely ignored it.
Doubles in size and turns purple, and you're like, I'm just gonna ignore that. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that.
That's fine.
And then
it'll heal itself.
like a month later, I could move it. There was pain. Like there was like pain in like the joint. It was like whatever. 2 months later, I could move it better. Still pain in the joint. 3 months later, still pain in the joint. I can move it fine now. And now, I can move it completely fine, no pain. So something happened, and it got fixed itself. It fixed itself, whatever happened.
Yeah, it's
Fix
called the
itself
healing
somehow.
process. The body does it. But they don't always heal straight.
White blood cells doing their work.
Like, that's how you get crookedy limbs. Just saying. That's like the
I would
whole
still be
idea for
No offense to anybody
PT.
out there who has crooked limbs.
Yeah. Like they'll say in the comments, you'll say like, yeah, go to physical therapy so your leg gets straight.
And like, I would still be
This
playing
was
rugby
therapy in a
too
syringe.
now if it wasn't for COVID, because that's what ended my rugby.
Yeah.
Was getting to sit home from college and just having two, like, how many semesters like has it been so far? Like, yeah, 2 whole semesters a year at home. So it's kind of hard to get the rugby team together when we're all in different states.
Do they still have you paying
Doing
your
online
like,
learning.
Yeah.
your rugby dues?
Oh no,
You never know with these people.
Are there dues?
the rugby team was small, so they were like, and I didn't have I'm like I'm going to a super expensive college, so I could barely afford it in the first place. So they were accommodative for me about that. But like, I forget how small the team was. Like, I remember by the time of our first game, we had exactly enough people for one full team. Well, not one full team, but like,
How many-
for enough people on the field, basically.
Well,
So
how
no
many
bench.
fields a team for rugby?
Yeah, we had no bench basically.
So no injuries,
We
or
had
you
the-
gotta sit a game out.
We had the defense and the offense, and
They just can't play.
and there was basically no bench. And a lot
That's
of times
crazy.
we'd have to call alumni to come in and help fill spots.
Yeah, man. When you're playing fucking football or rugby or any of that shit, after like 2 innings, or quarters or whatever, I think innings are baseball. But after like 2 of them fucking straight, you get worn the fuck out,
Oh, yeah.
man. So try to play a full game without rest. Oh, dude, I couldn't even imagine.
And also, just rugby is just a brutal sport, so injuries always happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't the president of the club when it happened, but the guy who's currently the president of the rugby club, he got a huge concussion, like I think second game, and was out for like a month because of this concussion. And I was like, and I felt super bad for him because I saw it happen. Like he like, basically, like the team is so small. It's like, if you want to play, we'll let you play, basically. And so there's no thing of like, oh, everybody on the team's big. No, like we got all sorts of sizes, and it doesn't really matter because it's rugby. So
Yeah.
it's an advantage to have different sizes of people. But he's on the smaller side,
I bet.
and he ran full
One of
force
these
into a
is
big
gonna have
dude,
the code.
and he got a massive concussion from that.
Ooh.
And so he was out for like a month.
Concussions are fucking bad too. What was that Will Smith movie where he's like the like Nigerian doctor that was studying concussions for football players and like the high suicide rate?
Wild Wild West.
Yes,
Oh yeah, that's what that movie's called.
that perfectly portrayed how fucked up like several concussions in your lifetime can do to you.
Yeah.
You know? Good old Jim West.
Desperado.
It's also weird
Jim West.
how despite the helmets in football being for protection, they actually cause concussions a lot of the time. Because the guys be
Yeah.
wearing those helmets like, oh yeah, and they think they're super protected, and then they'll
Nope.
basically just use their head as a weapon,
Oh my god.
which is
Right.
why it's why it's against the rules
No
to
spearing.
go head down. Because yeah, if you hit someone with your helmet, one, not only are you more likely to get them a concussion, but you're also more likely to give yourself a concussion.
Yeah.
So like,
It seems like it, but there's not a lot of padding in those fucking helmets.
oh
man.
yeah, no.
They're like these little
The
tiny
padding that they
strips of
have
pads
are
all
like
around
and
it.
they're like super like dense too. So
Yeah, it's like there's not a lot of like spring and shit.
so like
in
it's
there.
basically nothing. I remember how hard those pads were when I put on those helmets.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, so what happened? Two things happen is that like, one, if you're the guy hitting the other guy with your helmet, the helmet makes your neck compress.
Ooh.
So it's
Yep.
a spinal injury right there.
Yep.
And then the other guy, his head bounces back, hits the helmet once, he falls, hits the helmet again, and so
Ooh.
2 possible concussions right there in just one hit.
Yeah, and I mean if it's somebody like you or me who's fucking, running at as full speed as they can, which in a sprint would be like, I don't know, fucking 10 miles an hour, let's say, off of that snap, and just smash right into somebody who's only like 7 feet away, and it's got like 300 plus pounds smashing into 200 something pounds going that fast, like it's a lot of
And like
damage.
guys in football are all like 6 foot around. And so like it doesn't help
Yeah.
that a fully like a 6-foot guy is falling straight down to the ground.
Man, I have no idea where this combination is.
Look for the art dealer.
Yeah, so I looked upstairs in the middle, and I think I looked all the way downstairs. I don't see anything.
Maybe it's like behind a
Numbers.
safe or something, or behind a painting.
I thought it would be like on one of these little plaques that they had here, but I looked at all of them. But I didn't see
It's
it.
the art dealer safe. Let's
Yeah.
just cheat because this game's like older than Sarge.
Yeah, I don't care. We could use a guide. That's fine.
I'm trying to think of
Don't at me,
the
bro.
specific injuries I had in rugby, besides just the thumb.
138.
Yeah, rugby.
138. All right, let me see just real quick. Let's-
You
if I
aren't
I
supposed
did-
to be
I
able to
did some-
open the safe until you've spoken to the art dealer, and you can only do that in this quest.
Oh. Okay.
So I had the massive thumb injury in
I
rugby.
think I might have killed him. Oh no! Oh, there it is. Okay.
Nice
I
and dead.
did that.
1, 3.
What else did I do? Oh, I did run. Me and another guy ran head first into each other, so we smacked our foreheads together, and that hurt like hell.
You smacked your foreheads together. Oh yeah, because you don't wear fucking
Yeah, in rugby you don't wear pads.
helmets and shit in rugby. Yeah, or not even pads. You have like knee pads and stuff,
No.
right? Or not even
No.
that. Really?
You
Ugh.
wear a t-shirt and you wear rugby shorts, and you wear rugby cleats.
So you gotta try
No
and not
pads.
kill each other.
That's how I fractured my knee the first time when I was in high school, because we got a kid from New Zealand, and that's what they do is play rugby. But we were playing like touch football or
Oh,
something,
God.
or flag
Oh,
football,
no.
and they gave me the fucking ball, and here comes this New Zealand kid like out of the corner of my eye who just like blindside tackles
Today.
me, and my knee crumbles and like at this weird angle, and he falls on top of that. I crumple over on top of him. So it's just like 700 pounds, just bam, right on my knee, and it just fractured it right down the middle.
Yikes.
And it's like it's never really fully healed. It's even like if I go swimming now, if I kick my left leg too hard in the pool, it's like I could easily like pull my knee out of place and
Oh
shit.
yeah,
And
it's the same for my knee too. Despite it just being a bruise, my knee.
Yeah.
There's not really pain, but like when it gets cold, sometimes I'll feel like it'll like ache a little bit. But
Right.
when I was playing rugby, and being real physical with it, so what would happen sometimes is that my knee just gives out,
yeah.
and so I would just drop to a knee or just fall over because my knee decided it didn't want to work anymore,
right.
and that sucks.
Yeah.
So I had that in the kitchen many times. I was like in the middle of doing some heavy ass moving of like 5-gallon containers of fucking stock and liquid and shit, and then all of a sudden my knee just wants to give out. I'm like, no, come on, hold it together, let's go.
All right.
The thing about for me is like
that's about a
first,
half hour.
I never went.
This guy.
Is it?
Oh shit!
Oh
Already.
god.
Alright. I guess we'll see why these people are puking blood and flies in the next episode.
Have fun.
Bye.